Welcome to the Regional Science Bowl. This fast-paced, quiz-style tournament tests the math and science knowledge and skills of students in our region as they compete for a spot at the National Science Bowl. In each round, 2 teams play head-to-head for 2 8-minute halves. Each round lasts a total of 18 minutes, including a 2-minute break between halves. 4 students play on each team, with one designated as the team captain. A team may have one substitute player who can replace any of the 4 starters who played during the first half. Substitutions may be made only at the half. Teams may switch captains, but only at the half. As moderator, it's your job to clearly and confidently lead each round by sharing important information, reading the questions, and enforcing the rules. Moderator is an essential role that requires a college education in a math or science field and thorough knowledge of Science Bowl rules. It's also recommended that you take time to read the questions in advance. Beyond that, the moderator sets the tone of the game. While the Science Bowl is a serious event, the moderator takes the lead in establishing a light and friendly, yet professional, atmosphere that makes the game fun and calms the nerves of the competitors. The moderator kicks off each round by greeting everyone, introducing the officials, reading the important rules, and following the guidelines on the official's score sheet. This document is provided in each competition room and is different from the large score sheet maintained by the scorekeeper. The official score sheet assists you in asking the members of each team to introduce themselves, verifying that all buzzers work, asking the 2 opposing team coaches to introduce themselves, encouraging them to sit next to each other near the back of the room, reading the rules, and so forth. The timekeeper will begin the 8-minute half when you start reading the first question, as shown here.
Toss-up question 1, math, multiple choice.
There are 2 types of questions: toss-up questions and bonus questions. Toss-up questions are open to both teams. When a team correctly answers a toss-up question, that team earns the opportunity to answer a bonus question. Here's an example.
What is the name of the heat energy trapped in the Earth's interior? I'm looking. A1.
Geothermal energy.
Correct. Bonus for Team A.
As each round proceeds, you should indicate whether you are reading a toss-up or bonus question, the number of the question, the subject area for that question, and any possible answers provided. Here's an example.
Toss-up question 4, physical science, multiple choice. Which factor does not influence the speed needed to put a satellite into orbit? W, mass of the satellite. X, radius of the orbit. Y, shape of the orbit. Z, mass of the planet.
Read each question and any possible answers exactly as written. Pronunciation guides are often provided to help with difficult or unfamiliar words. The science judge will follow along throughout each round to ensure that you're reading the questions correctly and at the appropriate times. Both teams get 5 seconds to buzz in and have the right to answer a toss-up question. Team members should buzz in to answer, at which point you or the science judge will verbally recognize the player who buzzes in and should respond. You might say, Team A, Player 2, or Team B, Captain, for instance. Here's an example.
Hey, Captain.
W.
Is correct.
The officiating team must decide who will recognize the players before the round begins. For toss-up questions, students are permitted to provide the scientific answer or the corresponding letter. If they choose to respond with the scientific answer, it must match the correct answer exactly. Introductory phrases, such as "my answer is," are not acceptable, and players may not modify their answers if they mistakenly say the wrong word. For bonus questions, the answer does not need to be exact unless the question specifies an exact answer. Regardless of how a team chooses to respond, consulting among team members is not permitted for toss-up questions. In addition, the responding team member should answer within 2 seconds. Stalling is not allowed. The first answer is the only recognized answer. If a competitor provides a wrong answer to a toss-up question, you should indicate that the response is incorrect and offered the other team an opportunity to respond within the allotted 5 seconds. A member of the other team must buzz in and be recognized before responding. Here's an example.
It's not correct. Team A, 5 seconds. Team A, Captain? 2 and 3. That's correct.
Once that team has answered or opted not to respond, you should provide the correct answer. If at any point during the game you mistakenly read the correct answer to a question too soon, you should disregard that question and move on to the next toss-up question. When a team correctly answers a toss-up question, you should read the bonus question that follows. Be sure to identify the question as a bonus question and state the number of the question and the subject area. Only the team that earned the bonus question may respond. Here's an example.
Bonus for Team A, energy multiple choice. Which of the following requires the greatest percentage of energy in a household?
Consultation among team members is allowed, but the answer must be provided by the captain. The captain does not need to buzz in to answer. However, he or she must respond within 20 seconds. The timekeeper will provide a verbal reminder when 5 seconds remain. If you mistakenly respond to an answer from someone other than the team captain, you should disregard that question and read the next bonus question instead, regardless of whether the answer was right or wrong. As moderator, you also need to know how scorekeeping works so you can ensure the score is being kept accurately and penalty points are awarded appropriately. A correct answer to a toss-up question is worth 4 points, whereas a correct answer to a bonus question is worth 10 points. Penalties are worth the same point value as the associated toss-up or bonus question, and penalty points are always added to the opposing team's score. Points are always added, never subtracted. If a player is properly recognized and answers a question incorrectly, there are no penalty points awarded and a 0 is marked on the score sheet by the scorekeeper. Penalty points are most often awarded following an interrupt, a blurt, or both. An interrupt occurs when a player buzzes in before you finish reading a toss-up question. You should stop reading the question and verbally identify it as such by saying interrupt. Here's an example.
Toss-up question 1, math, multiple choice. A pair of headphones originally priced at $80 is on sale at 25% off. If the sales tax is 10%, what is the total price in dollars of these headphones? Interrupt A3. 66 is correct.
If the player waits to be verbally recognized and gets the question right, 4 points are awarded to his or her team with no penalty assessed. If that player gets the question wrong, 4 points are awarded to the opposing team as a penalty. You should then reread the question from the beginning, including type of question, number of the question, and subject area to give the opposing team an opportunity to buzz in and respond. If that team also interrupts and gets the question wrong, the team that originally interrupted the question is awarded 4 points. A blurt occurs when a player buzzes in and provides an answer to a toss-up question before being verbally recognized. This can occur at the same time as an interrupt if the blurt occurs during the reading of the question. When a blurt occurs, you should not indicate whether the provided answer is correct or incorrect. The opposing team is awarded 4 penalty points and has an opportunity to answer the question. You should reread the question if it was interrupted. You may recall that consultation among team members is not permitted for toss-up questions. Penalty points are awarded if discussion occurs after a team member buzzes in to answer a toss-up question. In this instance, 4 penalty points are awarded to the opposing team. No penalty points are awarded if an answer is blurted out or discussed before a team member buzzes in. However, the answer should not be acknowledged and that team is disqualified from answering the question. Points are automatically awarded for distractions, which occur when the team that is not answering a question tries to distract the answering team by visual, verbal, or other audible behavior. If a distraction occurs during a toss-up question, 4 points are awarded to the answering team. In addition to having the opportunity to answer the bonus question as usual, the answering team also has the option of having 20 additional seconds run off the clock, If the distraction occurs during a bonus question, 10 points are awarded for the bonus question, and the responding team has the option of having 40 additional seconds run off the clock. The moderator will then proceed to the next toss-up question. During each round, each team is allowed one accidental buzz during questions for the opposing team. As moderator, you also need to know how challenges work. A challenge occurs when one of the 4 competing team members questions scientific content only. Players cannot challenge judgment calls by officials. Each team is limited to 2 unsuccessful challenges per round, and challenges to a particular question must be made before you begin reading the next question. The science judge will make sure the clock stops during a challenge or other time stoppage, and time may be added if appropriate. Substitute team members, coaches, and audience members are not permitted to issue challenges or communicate in any way during competition rounds. Offenders may be ejected from the room. You should also note that scratch paper is provided to competitors for calculations and notes. Calculators and other electronic devices are prohibited. The science judge typically handles the verbal recognition of students when they buzz in, and the science judge or timekeeper is typically responsible for resetting the buzzers, depending on your region's timing and buzzer systems. However, the moderator may assume these roles if he or she feels comfortable doing so and thinks it will improve the flow of the game. The official responsible for these tasks should be clearly understood and agreed to by the officials before the round begins. As the half or round nears its end, you may be reading a toss-up question when time expires. When this occurs, if the subject area has been completely read, play should continue through that question, including any bonuses earned. Do not delay reading another question to let time tick off the clock. If the subject area has not been read, you should stop reading. The half or round is finished. At the conclusion of each round, it's your job to complete the official score sheet. You must fill in the final score, provide the names of all officials, and make sure it's signed by captains for both teams. A score runner will collect the official score sheet, as well as the large score sheet maintained by the scorekeeper to provide to Science Bowl Central for official record-keeping purposes. If you are a moderator, it's helpful to have quick reference sheets handy that summarize the rules. Your volunteer trainer or volunteer coordinator can provide these for you, and there should be some provided in each competition room. If you are ever uncertain as to how a situation should be handled, don't hesitate to stop the game clock to seek an official answer from Science Bowl Central. Moderator is a challenging role with a lot to learn, but it's also a rewarding way to apply your useful skills and expertise to support the next generation of STEM professionals. Thanks for volunteering, and we look forward to seeing you at the Regional Science Bowl.